Hey folks, I gotta lube the chain on the WR today, so I thought I'd bring you along. So I haven't showed my WR too much on this channel. I'll do a quick walk around for you guys. So it's mostly stock in terms of engine, transmission, driveline. Got the stock gearing, stock chain. I don't have any engine mods or anything like that. But I do have some protection like the handguards here. I got Zeta handguards. I do have the indicators and daytime running lights integrated into those. Got some Pro Taper Washougal bend handlebars. So those are their high bend, but they're still 7/8 bars. I know a lot of people like to run thicker bars. I'm fine with the 7/8. Still have stock levers, stock mirrors. I honestly liked them, so I didn't really feel like changing them. Stock suspension, as most of you know, the WR's stock suspension is amazing when you set it up properly. No different here. It's really good. I've set it up for my weight and I'm really happy with it. Got some new hoses I installed a few months ago. This is a 2015, so the old hoses were getting kind of swollen. Yeah, otherwise, again, pretty much stock. We got the stock muffler. I'm gonna go skip my plate here so you guys don't steal any of my info. Stock taillights and everything. I know people hate those, but I want people to see me on the road. And yeah, here's that chain. It's not too bad, honestly, but it's, it looks kind of dry and it's got some dirt on it. So we're gonna get it all cleaned up here and ready to go for another ride. All right, so I wouldn't say this is a terribly scientific thing to do, but usually the way I like to do this is I'll take this chain guard off. I'll use a grunge brush like this to loosen off any dirt and spray it with some cleaner, dry it off, and then put some lube on there. It's pretty standard stuff. Where it does get a little contentious is what sort of cleaner do you use? What sort of lube do you use? It's kind of like, oil changes with any motorcyclist or car enthusiast, or you start talking about brands and you start talking about oil weights and everyone's got an opinion and nobody agrees. So that's not what this video is about. I'm gonna use what works for me, and what works for me might not work for you, and that's okay. What works for you might not work for me either. We're gonna be civil about it. So anyways, let's get started. I'm gonna use an 8mm, take off the chain guard. Depending on what bike you have, it's probably similar type of fastener, 8mm, 10mm. Shouldn't be too tight. This just has a plastic guard on there. It's pretty flimsy. And here's the chain, and you can see it's, this is still in really good shape. For the record, this is the original chain and sprocket set that came with this bike over 10 years ago. So I think it's been taken care of properly. Not trying to shout out what cleaners I use and what chain lube I use. You're gonna see it, but just saying, it does work. The results are here. Anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and clean this section. I'm gonna use WD-40 as my cleaner. So I'm just gonna spray on a little bit here, kind of let that soak in. Just on this part of the chain. Then I'm gonna get my grunge brush. It's got like this 3-sided section. I'll just go in and scrub the chain there. This is after about, I think maybe 50 miles of off-road. Wasn't too dusty last time I went out, so the chain stayed pretty clean. But if your chain's a lot dirtier, you might want to even wash it off with a hose outside and then get to this part. All right, so we got that section cleaned. So what I like to do is basically lean the bike over on the jack stand or on the side stand and then move the back wheel. Get the chain moved there. We've got a new section that's ready to be cleaned. I didn't mention this before, but put a piece of cardboard down or something because this makes a mess. I really haven't found a better way to do it in my 10 years of riding or so. Just gonna do the same thing, rinse and repeat. Just get some cleaner on there. I'm not even gonna say the brand name anymore or what it is. I'm just gonna call it cleaner. get that grunge brush again and just go down and clean that chain. You can see it's already shining up pretty nicely because this chain was in really good shape. Let's go and do the same thing again. You just put the cleaner on, I'm gonna scrub. Probably getting all in front of the camera here. I think we've got one more section left. Yeah, just a tiny bit there. We get a little bit of cleaner here. Just a couple links. And we'll scrub. I think we're good. So the purpose of lubricant on this chain is really just to prevent surface rust on the outside. This is a sealed chain, so there's actually O-rings. If you look here, you can see you got the outer links. There's O-rings in between the outer links and the inner links. That holds in the grease on the pin and in between the pin and the roller, essentially. So that keeps it all lubricated. All we're doing here is cleaning the dirt so that it doesn't get to those O-rings and damage them. And at the same time, we're trying to prevent surface rust. So at this point, you can go ahead and wipe it off. I'm just using a regular paper towel from Costco here. And again, we're gonna move the wheel so we can get the whole chain and just dry it off. I think we got the whole chain at that point. So now you want to just put some lube on. I am using DuPont Chain Saver. It says wax-based lubricant and it's got Teflon in it, so a bunch of forever chemicals and whatnot. It says it's O-ring safe, motorcycles, dirt bikes, ATVs, and it sprays upside down. I think I've had this can for about 6 or 7 years and it's about half full, so I probably need to do this more often. But anyways, same thing with the cleaner. You just want to spray it on. And move the bike. Remove the wheel rather, so you can get the whole chain. Now, if you have a bike stand, it's probably a lot easier to do this, but if you have a bike stand, you probably don't need to watch a video about lubricating a motorcycle chain. Okay, so at this point, we've got lube all over the chain, and I've got these nitrile gloves on. So I'm just gonna go with my hand and kind of spread it around. Make sure it's all covered with lube. Because again, the goal here is to prevent the chain from rusting and also getting into those contact points with the O-rings so that they don't bind. Or if there's any dirt in there, it helps the dirt come out. Yeah, I'm going to do the rest of the chain. Yeah, that's about good. And then at this point, I want to wipe off any excess. This is a wax, so it will stay on there. At this point, it's been on there enough for it to set just a tiny bit. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe off the excess. So if you've got too much product on there, it's just gonna sling. All right, now I'm gonna call that about good. I'm gonna call that about good just as it is. So we'll go ahead and reinstall the chain guard. Torque it down. And that's it. Yeah, that's it for this one. Make sure you take any of your oily rags outside of your house, outside of your garage. You don't want to leave that inside, they might catch fire. So all this is gonna go in the trash outside. Yeah, that's all. See you in the next one.